This is Dolany TV, guys. A big welcome back to Volume 2. Yeah, we're going with Volume 2. Now, of course, here we go. I gotta clear some things in the air before we get rolling into Volume 2 here. Volume 1 of MLB The Show complainers really got me a lot of heat. I said some stuff you guys took to heart. Now, of course, this is me, literally, these videos are just me airing the stupidity of some of the people who complain. I'm saying how aggressively, how overreacting some of the complaints are. I mean, yes, sure, you've got grievances about MLB The Show, but so do, when I go through and find these tweets, I don't just pick the first 10, the first 8, whatever I'm doing in an episode. I pick the best of the best. So you got to think there's a list of, I go through about 400 to 500 tweets to find 8 tweets that I find are the most impactful complaining tweets. And of course, I have a little bit of opinion when I come to throw them in here too. But I'm not just picking 8 tweets of the first 8, which if there were only that many complaints, then we'd have an issue. But everybody is complaining about the game. A lot of people on Twitter, not everybody, but me, I don't complain about the game. I quite enjoy the game, but that's just me because I don't play the game enough maybe and don't get robbed enough. Who knows? But like I said, trying to clear the air here. I'm not just harping on the first few guys and going with the worst complaints. I'm going with what I think to see the most common occurring complaints. So here we go. Let's roll into it. And this one, number 1 today. Somebody hit the nail on the hammer and has a legit, absolutely legit complaint here. MLB The Show produces an absolutely brutal soundtrack every year. I don't get how they continually miss all the time. Now I'll tell you, the only MLB The Show soundtrack I have liked in the history of playing MLB The Show. I've played a lot of MLB The Show since MLB 08 The Show, so that's 10 years of the show now that I've played every single year. Let me tell you, MLB 08's the only one I liked. They had good classic rock, and that's what's been missing. They're trying to go too alternative pop, kind of off to the weird stuff, trying to make it unique sounding, right? And nah, I like my rock and roll, my metal. You throw me that good stuff, I'll enjoy the game 100 times more with the sound on. I could listen to the same rock song 5 times over as long as it's decent and not be bored. This alternative crap, I can't cut it. But that's just me. That's just me. So let me know your thoughts on that one. I don't want to harp on the music too hard because I don't listen to the music in this game. As an MLB The Show YouTuber, what I have to do is I have to shut off my music so that I don't get copyright strikes. So I listen to the soundtrack maybe once a month if I'm lucky. So keep that in mind. Take it with a grain of salt from me. And let's move on to complaint number 2. Now, complaint number 2 is a server error. Great job, boys, at MLB The Show. Well, let me tell you one thing about server errors. Sure, we've seen a lot of them this year, but you know what I saw a lot of last year too? Server errors. So you can't tell me that this year has exponentially 5 million more server errors than they had last year. They had the same amount of server errors last year. Like, try to remember Friday at noon Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Eastern in MLB, well, 1 p.m., somewhere in there, between noon and, you know where I'm going. Try and remember that Diamond Dynasty, getting on there. The server errors were legit terrible. So let's be serious, things have somewhat improved this year, and server errors still happen. It's an online game. Servers, they're what run the internet. It's going to happen 100% out of 100%. Now, this guy, let's go move on to Fire Rammer at Rammer Trash. He's got a picture of the NHL 17 leaderboards as his profile picture. Ramon Russell, Jesus Christ, your game is terrible. Why don't you guys do anything about this? Well, they are doing things about it. They keep doing maintenance. Things are progressively getting better. Not tremendously. I'm not going to go out there and defend them 110-fold. I'm saying things are getting a little bit better week by week. Things are getting more dynamic, that kind of thing. But the reason I chose this tweet is I mentioned NHL 17. His name is Fire Rammer. This guy will find the community manager and blame him for everything. Fire Rammer is a movement in the NHL 17 community, if you're not familiar, to fire Sean Rammer-Jinsing. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm terrible with names. But Rammer is his short. And everybody, for years, like you think Ramon Russell has hate. Rammer has had hate since NHL 12. Let's go back there and know how much hate Rammer has gotten in NHL 12. So he's had 6 years. Ramon Russell, he was a pretty cool dude last year. And this year he's a pretty cool dude as well. Keeping his profile a little bit lower because he doesn't want to get so much flack. But it's not his fault. He's a community manager. He's a guy to engage with us. Not a guy to develop the game. So let's be serious, right? And then, hold on. Let's go. You call me TJ. Comes in here and puts it squarely. Absolutely squarely on Ramon Russell. It's all on you, Ramon Russell. You're a scrub. Game sucks like you. So game sucks like you. That's supposed to be all one sentence. You call me TJ has no clue how to use hashtags on Twitter. Let's be serious. That's my complaint about him. But there we go. So another guy putting it all on Rammer. You all suck. Game is rigged. And picks a winner from the start. Maybe play the game and see how bad it is. You scrubs. So that's his other complaint there. I got 2 and 1. Hey, a 2-for-1 special. You'd swear we're doing pizza in northern Alberta. But anyway, I digress. And so a lot of blame on Ramon Russell this week. And really, guys, if I'm going to defend anyone, I'm going to defend Ramon here. There's a team. There's a bigger team than Ramon Russell. Just because you only see Ramon Russell, there's a large amount of people at stake making MLB The Show what it is today. So let's just take a second, heat off Ramon, heat off the MLB Show Twitter account, and let's try and think of some ways to solve this. Of course, one way is I saw Millennium OS had a tweet out. I believe it was Millennium. I'd have to go back and double check. Millennium or else Moonlight Swami, one of the two. But they want to do a movement to show MLB The Show what we're complaining about. Because you can complain on Twitter. Hey, I'm going to love if you complain on Twitter. I'm going to read it on here. You're going to laugh about it and we're going to have a talk about it. But 100% if you show them what the problem is, instead of a clip, a very 45-second clip of what's wrong, show them a full game of what's wrong, maybe the idea gets across more and maybe we start to solve things as a community a little bit better. So that's my complaint there. Let's go. On to the next one. Another legit complaint. This week I wanted to air the legit complaints because a lot of the complaints last week were just, the same complaints we've heard. Some of the stuff you don't hear is something like this. MLB The Show is an amazing baseball game. You wouldn't know it by the people who have had their tweets read in this episode already, but it's only made for PlayStation. Xbox users got robbed. Now, of course, Xbox users, if you're an Xbox user and still wondering why MLB The Show is not made for the Xbox, let me fill you in. It is not made for the Xbox due to Sony owning San Diego studios, which means then it's a Sony exclusive, meaning it's only on PS4, and there we go, that's where we go. So that's a legit complaint. Why? Oh, here's Justin Hebert. Alright, Justin Hebert, I see you there. Why isn't Dallas Keuchel a diamond? That's a good question. That's a good complaint. Let's get Dallas Keuchel the diamond. Guys, if you're going to tweet about this episode of MLB The Show Complainers, Volume 2, let's talk about Dallas Keuchel being a diamond. Keuchel diamond. Hashtag Keuchel diamond. Let's get it going. We need to get him to a diamond for Justin Hebert. Justin Hebert needs a diamond. Dallas Keuchel. Let's go. On to the last one. Let's do it. Let's see. Okay, pardon the language in this tweet. I'm not a big user of this language on my channel, but sometimes you just have to let the people be people, right? The night before the draft, Catfish gets a call from his agent saying it's a bad idea. Fave to ignore, comment to go ahead. Journey of Catfish. I don't know what the journey of Catfish is, but Rain Man says no one gives a about Catfish. I don't know if I did that more emphatically or not. When your game is broken beyond belief, here we are. It's come full circle. We're back at the game being broken. Rain Man, if you want them to solve the game, show them how the game's broken. Don't tell them. You can't code when you don't see what's wrong. You can code knowing what's wrong, but you can't code when you're like, oh, the game's broken, I gotta fix it. How do I fix it? What's wrong? Where do I go from there? Let's be serious. Guys, thank you for tuning into this edition of MLB 17, the show Complainers Volume 2. And we will catch you guys, as always, in the next one. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's start a firestorm just like we did with Volume 1. Guys, I am out of here.